Hello, I'm Terry McCann, President of the local conference of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, based in Newmarket, Ontario. Welcome to this training video, which has a quick look at our mission as Vincentians. In particular, we will look at the importance of carrying out our mission with respect and how our unconscious stereotypes can get in the way of carrying out our mission. The mission of our society is found in the Rule and Statutes. This is the reference document that explains what, how, and why we do what we do. The very third paragraph in the Rule and Statutes states, Mission. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul is a lay Catholic organization whose mission is to live the gospel message by serving Christ in the poor with love, respect, justice, and joy. In this presentation, we will look briefly at the importance of having an attitude of respect as we do our work. We commonly think of respect in terms of behavior, how we talk to and treat other people, how we treat our parents, our teachers, colleagues, managers, customers, for instance. But it is important to realize that respectful behavior flows from our internal attitudes. There is a degree of hypocrisy if we show respectful behavior when we are face to face, but then speak disrespectfully about people behind their backs. You can probably think of examples if you think back to your school days and recall how you felt about different teachers. For teachers that you liked and whose courses you probably did well in, it was probably so easy to be respectful that you did not even have to think about it. But now think about teachers whom you complained about. You likely were still respectful when engaging face to face, but it would not have come as naturally. There would have been something forced about the encounter. There are many factors that influence how much respect we feel towards people. Some obvious factors include how other people treat or respect us and how people measure up to some standard of accomplishment that we have set for ourselves. These factors are based in our real-life personal experience or knowledge of these individuals. But sometimes our attitude of respect or lack of respect is established without regard to the individual, but more influenced by the group that we perceive this individual to be associated with. When that happens, whether we realize it or not, our attitude has been influenced by stereotyping. Remember that respect is first of all an attitude. Anything that influences attitude can also influence, and therefore diminish or dilute, the respect we feel towards someone. Stereotypes are very significant diluters of respect. So what is a stereotype? One definition gives a stereotype as an overgeneralized belief about a particular category of people, leading to assumptions which influence attitudes. The important thing here is that we tend to assume or expect certain behavior traits in people we have not even met or personally know, simply because they belong to a particular category of people. In North America, some groups of people are more likely to be stereotyped than others. Many men and boys hold gender stereotypes of women. I remember when my grandson was 5 years old, he was devastated that his girl cousin could run faster than he could, because he knew that boys can run faster than girls, or so he thought. And of course, there are persistent stereotypes associated with black and indigenous people and people of color. So much so that sociologists and other researchers have written doctoral theses about such stereotyping. We have all heard the stereotypes that, however old and stale, simply refuse to die. Black people, or indigenous people, or people of color, are stereotypically believed to be more violent and lazy. They, and the word they is used to mean the entire other group that is different to us and our group, they are believed to be less intelligent, to not place a high value on education. Some of the stereotypes have moral connotations, such as those associated with abuse of alcohol, sex, and drugs. There is a certain fluidity to stereotypes. Depending on who are the we and the they, the same stereotypes are commonly ascribed to different groups of people who are almost always disadvantaged relative to the we group. For this reason, it is hardly surprising that stereotypes commonly associated with Black, Indigenous, and people of color are also ascribed to those in the lower socio-economic class, the poor. What this does is, it ensures that the we group holds the others completely responsible for their own misfortune and hardship. The poor are poor by their own fault, and I and my group are absolved from any responsibility. If we do help them, it is purely out of the goodness of our heart, and they ought to be very grateful to us. It is unfortunate, but true, that this very 19th century patronizing attitude can still be found today. Its roots are in perceiving the poor in the light of stereotypes rather than in the light of Christ. Christ the Lord, whom we serve and follow as disciples, wants us to recognize Him in the poor whom we serve. At the same time, Christ wants to use us to bring His love to the poor whom He loves with a special affection. To do that, we have to serve the poor lovingly, with respect and joy. We have to be open to recognize where oppressive structures in our society are making it difficult for the poor to get around, to find work, to get a roof over their heads and food on their tables. No child has ever freely chosen to be poor, to go to bed hungry or cold or unloved. The question we need to ask ourselves, not just once but periodically, is, what, if any, stereotypes are operating in my unconscious?